Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers have finally won an away game. It feels like an eternity since that last happened. I believe Ross County was the last domestic win, if I'm
That
right. So aye, it's been obviously a long time coming, and it's been something that we have to kind of get out of the way so we can start winning games more regularly away from home. Obviously, Tannadice notoriously a tough place to go, so obviously good to get the points there. It wouldn't be without some controversy though involving Rangers, red cards, and really stupid decisions for the referee on the day that we'll get into. Obviously, then that leads us on nicely to the finale, the Europa League group stages, which we've done well in. We've had really tough opponents to face, and we're basically guaranteed through now. Obviously, depending on if results go our way, we could finish in the top eight as well. But it looks like most likely the playoffs for us, which is fine. And aye, and brief kind of transfer news and stuff to talk about as well. But aye, if you do enjoy the podcast, if you could like, subscribe, and share, as always, very much appreciated. Firstly, we'll start on the Old Trafford game. Then I thought it would obviously be the right place to start, considering we were so close to getting something out of the game. I mean, we obviously went down there with optimism. I don't think anybody goes to Old Trafford anymore and kind of fears playing Man United like in the past. So we obviously went down there with optimism. We went down there with the fact that we could maybe get a result, sneak a result in some way. Obviously, we're missing a lot of players throughout the team. That would normally be involved in the Europa League, a suspension for Diomande, and obviously players that you can't use like Hadji. So it was obviously going to be difficult. I felt like in the game towards like, in the first half anyway. Obviously, we kept Man United at bay. They had the ball in the net through De Ligt, and obviously there was a foul on Proper in there. We had a couple of opportunities of our own coming to Ridvan Yilmaz, who maybe on another day would have done better with those ones. And I mean, two injuries at half time felt like they were going to kill us. Barron and Balogun both going off, which felt like a hammer blow at the time. Man United get the opening goal through just a poor defensive punch for Jack Butland. I still don't understand what he's
shocking,
trying to do there.
shocking.
Really poor goal to lose. We then obviously hung on. We had Bailey Rice in the pitch. We had McCausland in the pitch. We had Finlay Curtis in the pitch. We were about to have Zach Lovelace in the pitch, and it turned out Dessers just turned into R9 for a brief second. And it's a goal that
Aye,
you'll never tire of watching. Obviously, we lose the game. We don't get in out after that after Fernandez scores. But I mean, for that brief moment, it felt like we're going to get a really respectable result against the English opposition again this season.
no, I did. I personally thought first half we showed them a bit too much respect. Maybe obviously it's Man United, it's Old Trafford, maybe a bit of nervousness getting there. But I thought obviously we just hung in there, and you think to yourself, right, we've nicked a wee decent result here, and then obviously Yefty switches off and United get the goal. A shocking for Butland. I was, aye, shocking. Thought my boy Kelly should have been there. If I'm being honest with you, mate, but over Butland around right now. Also talk on him, getting him, but no, as I say, you thought right, we've got a point here away, but still have business now today on Thursday, which we're going to get into. But disappointing. But at the same time, you've got this game here. Do you know what I mean? With a chance to still obviously go through. And also, Man United play a team that are eighth in the
Aye.
table,
hmm
so maybe need Man United to be favouring whatever you bet. Aye, just next one, and then we'll see where we end up.
No, that's exactly it. It was obviously a tough one to take after it was all said and done, but some you need to kind of park up and you need to move on to what would be Dundee United today, Tannadice, 12 o'clock. I would imagine the team probably haven't had too much time in between to the Manchester trip. They would probably
As
have to
well,
stay overnight, and obviously this one.
I was just going to say as well. Say we played 12 o'clock, and Man United played what 7 or something tonight, did they?
Aye, they're just playing it now, aye.
Aye, you're playing now. You know what I mean? So that shows you there. But aye, just thought I'd bring that up, mate.
No, no, obviously the recovery times and stuff would have been tight for us. As I say, you would imagine the team would be staying in Manchester another day, heading back up
Mm.
and the Saturday, probably getting into the house and then getting a bag packed to go to Dundee with the team again. So it's a tight turnover. Probably no time in the training pitch either, which wouldn't have helped. Obviously, losing the guys like Cherny and Barron and Balogun wasn't helpful, but we had to go up there and we had to get a result. Looking at the team that obviously did select, you've got Butland back in, staying there. I mean, he's obviously the number one goalkeeper, so Clement is sticking by him even by his mistakes. Thought it was unlucky that Kelly didn't start the game the other day. I think he's came in and he's done pretty well. Out with maybe a couple of errors at times, but I thought he's done well. I thought he maybe warranted starting, but I think the
I
thing behind
just,
that is when your number one goalie's fit, you play him.
well, absolutely no, 100%. But you know what I see with Butland? See, for me personally, I think we've done this thing where we're making Butland out to be this amazing goalkeeper when really he's bang average, isn't he, really? To be honest with you, it's just the truth. I think we've made him believe he's actually better than what he is personally. But still, obviously, still a top goalkeeper and what have you. But it's just those kind of mistakes. I mean, he's not had the best of seasons, obviously, for me. But I just thought Kelly, you know what I mean, he's done all right. Stick with the keeper. I don't really like changing the defence and the keeper very much if you're winning. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know it's true. It's true, but although obviously looking at the Man United game, Butland did make a good few saves throughout the game. It was just that one error that ends up costing
It's
you in the
just,
day.
you know what I mean, make sure he saves and all that, and then he does that, and you're thinking to yourself, come on, really, you can't just fucking catch a ball.
No, it was a poor one. It's still one that
You
that, that
robbed
does frustrate
Desselsy's
me.
moment. You robbed Desselsy's.
Well, when you think about it, the man we'll go on to next, Yefty, he's another one that Dessers would have probably been wanting to batter in the changing room
Uh,
after that game. Obviously,
uh,
he's been good this season. He's been pretty consistent. Even when he does have a drop off sometimes, game to game, he ends up picking it back up. And I think he's played a lot of football for a guy that's only just come into the club this summer. He's done ever so well to stake the claim for the left back area and kind of make it his own. And I thought he was decent again today. Second half, I thought the whole team were a lot better than the first, of course. But I thought Yefty again, he was okay in parts of the first half, but definitely a lot better in the second half. Clinton Inciala and Robin Proper again continuing their partnership. I think I'm really liking what I see for Inciala. He's very mobile. He's obviously got a good. He's got a good pass on him, picking out players left, right, and centre with his crossfield balls, and he's obviously he's quick. He's young. He's a guy that we're developing for seasons to come. So I think him getting his opportunities has been one of the kind of shining lights through this time where we've had so many injuries. He's been able to stake his claim, get opportunities, big games against Aberdeen and Dundee United away that he's been able to play. So I can't
no,
be more happy with him.
no, absolutely, mate. And got to give proper his thing me as well, obviously. Yet again, it's a situation I feel like we've also we've signed a defender who he's been playing on the left, but he's better on the right side of the defence. Do you know what I mean? Good strike though for his goal.
Ah, well, true. Aye.
Centre half. But they two are definitely developing a wee decent partnership. And Ciala as well. It's just good to see obviously young players getting opportunities that we've seen the last couple of games. That's what I want to see the team be more about. And all, but as I say, I think they two have developed a really decent wee partnership.
No, I think they have in proper. I've got to kind of tip my hat to him as well, although he might not be the strongest in his physical duels and the aerial battles with these tough defenders. He's literally been the only constant in that that centre of defence for as long as I can remember. I think the last 4 or 5 games he's done really well. Obviously he's got his goal today again. It gets us in front, takes the pressure off a bit, which is good. But I think he's came under a lot of criticism at times, proper, but. He's kind of starting to show why we signed him in the end. He's shown his leadership qualities, obviously, with Nsiala and Yefty next to him. And I think he's had a good couple of games the last few weeks, and long may that continue because it doesn't really look
It's
like
just
Ballingen's going to be back anytime soon. Suter,
no,
I mean, who knows? So you're
no.
kind of left with the bare bones.
Just one of the weird things as well. Obviously, last season you looked at Suter, he wasn't really, do you know what I mean, playing that well out there. And then he gets to playing the natural side, which is the right side of the defence, and he looks decent. What have you? And it's the same sort of with Proper. I feel like as well. Just the last couple of games, he's looked what we like with what we paid the money for. But aye, no, as I say, yet again, just building up a wee decent partnership because it looks like they're going to be the only two remaining. Everyone else seems to go down.
Mhm.
So, you know what I mean?
I know, of course, everybody seems to keep getting injured as well, which isn't helpful. But I think maybe the thing we need to look at, obviously, is their Oh, the performance in the first half. I mean, it was a slow start again for the team.
Oh,
Very, very slow, very lackadaisical, no tempo to the game. It felt like we were going to concede the first goal, and we did. I mean, it wouldn't be a Rangers goal conceded if there wasn't some sort of hilarity in it. Ball into the box, it ricochets off proper, it goes back into Dalby's hands, then he shoots and it ricochets off another guy, and he ends up getting a second or third bite of the cherry in the end, and it ends up in the goal. A guy who's been red hot in form, I believe he's the top scorer in the full
God,
league
aye.
now. So a guy obviously watching these games, and he grabbed another one against us. He scored at Ibrox as well against us. So he's having a good season, a really good season for Dundee United. He got them ahead. And it felt at that point it was just going to be the same old story again. We would maybe find a way back into the game in the second half. We would try and try and try, and we would draw the game. But the team kind of turned a corner the day we obviously getting the goal quick after the win for Dundee United, and then pushing on the second half to score two and three, which was nice. But it wouldn't be a Rangers game without that that heart pounding at the possibility of dropping more points, and it looked that way. I mean, got to remember Dundee
Well,
United hit the post three times as well, which we were really lucky with. Raskin even hitting the post, the opposition end as well. So that was obviously a tough fought win. Dundee United threw quite a lot at us, but we were just too good in the second half to get the 3 points really.
well, we've got a really good second half. Is say slow start in the first, and this was the one for me, as I said last time on podcast, where I was more interested because the away record has been absolutely shambolic. As I say, it was nice today to get a wee bit of performance. I say second half and get some really good goals as well. Dessers again, that's two back to back games with two really
No,
quality
I
goals.
mean, nah,
Mandy,
fantastic goals for him, and
just what happens when your midfielder goes, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna have a shot and gets a really good goal. I like to see that. And I just a real good second half, which is hopefully something we can build on away from home. I don't know. Maybe, who done the interview before the game or whatever? I think it might have been Raskin, and they talked about how they just don't feel comfortable away from home compared to obviously being at home and stuff like that. And I don't know, man, you're not really supposed to obviously be comfortable away from home. Do you know what I mean? Stick in, and you know what I mean. Get the
nah,
result.
you
Second
really need
half,
to grind and get results away from him, aye.
I said in the second half, we've really done that. I thought. Also we'll get on to the absolutely fucking stupid decision.
Aye,
Um,
aye, that's gets its own slide. That's how bad that was.
yeah. I mean, just obviously as well as when you looked at the starting thing as well, I thought Rice was unlucky for me to maybe get a start. As I say, I'm happy to see those guys coming into the team now, get involved. I know Finlay Curtis has got what he's only got a couple of months left, I believe.
Aye, I would
Running
imagine
down.
that would be something that will look
So
be
I'm hoping
looked
we
at.
can tie that down because I mean Bajrami, you know what I mean, Thursday, another waste, just an
Yeah,
absolute waste again. The day, I mean, wasn't really again, I didn't really notice him that much really.
I definitely thought he was more involved
I was
today, but
more involved, but yet again, I expect a bit more from him. Do you know what I mean? Than what
mm,
I've seen. But I just thought one of the young lads was unlucky not to start, and it was good to see Lovelace come on as well. I was obviously wanting to see him playing Thursday, but it was good to see him get his
mm,
minutes in. As I say, it's just good to get the young lads involved and get them apart, obviously, because we're down to the bare bones now. But
no.
still, at the end of the day, to me, I think some of these young lads are more talented than some of the players in the first team, really, personally.
Well, that's it.
Um,
They're just looking for their kind of gateway into the first team. They'll try Everton, obviously, to get on the
I mean,
bench,
come
and
on.
then
You see some of the lads we bring on, and then you think to yourself, how's McCausland getting on all the time over a Lovelace or you know what I mean?
mhm. No, no,
It's
it's time to give these guys opportunities, and fair play to come on again. He probably doesn't want to use them at the moment. I think there's obviously players that have been knocking on the door, looking for an opportunity, been training with the first team, have been impressing him, but he would like to have a full squad to pick for, a senior squad to pick for, and it's been unfortunate that we've now got 10 players out injured. Which isn't ideal for any manager. You see, obviously, Spurs dealing with the exact same thing where they've just got players out all the time. They've basically have to play the same players every game, which can't help. So, aye, that's definitely affecting us, especially in this last game for Europe. I was looking through the players that we can select, and it's down to the literal bare bones. If we've got nobody back, it's a tough struggle we're in to get obviously over the line. But looking back at today's players in the game, I thought Diomande shows you exactly why we missed him on Thursday. He's although he might blow hot and cold sometimes, depending on the opposition, the games. You see why he's so important in there in the middle of the park. He's so comfortable receiving the ball. He always kind of looks like he's going to make something happen in the middle of the pitch, and he took his goal spectacularly well. And he was one of those guys that was just getting kicked about all day, and obviously that goal with the the celebration as well meant that he was showing that anger and frustration out that he was getting kicked about in the first half. So obviously we'll go on to the red card separately out with this, but I thought he was fantastic today, and it's obviously good to have him back in. Raskin, another good performance for him. I don't really think Raskin ever really plays bad, to be honest. He's always there, he's always available. And he's always giving you kind of everything that he needs. Bayrami, as we were obviously touching on before, I thought he was a lot better this game. I thought first half he had a couple of opportunities. Second half he was more involved in the attacking play. Probably unlucky with a couple of opportunities as well. But he needs to be involved a hell of a lot more for the player that he is, for the creative force that he has to be. I mean, I see Hadji involved a lot more on the other side. I need Bayrami to do that as well. And nice segue into Hadji. I thought again gives you everything until obviously goes off and gets subbed off.
No, he's again just playing for the shot, isn't he? And obviously can't be involved in the Thursday, which is a bit of a blow. But it's just a safe as Rami. I'm expecting a wee bit more. Do you know what I mean? We thought because he was playing out of position, you're like, right, maybe he's no getting his thing. And then when he gets in where we want to see him play, you're just seeing nothing for him. Tav as well. I thought Tav was alright today as well, but I know Raskin and Diomande fantastic again, as you say. Diomande just for me showing why he is probably the heartbeat of the team, really, isn't he? Really, everything really
Mm.
just everything he does. My boy Hamza doing everything he could to get a goal, wasn't he? He was just
I mean,
some of this. Some of the play was unbelievable, but he was just doing everything he could to just get a goal, man.
nah, no, he's at the point where he was literally just showboating for the sake of it.
Uh,
We've got a very special player on our hands at the moment. He's just absolute quality. Everything that he does, just I mean, when he gets the ball under control in a tight situation, he uses his skill to get us out and break forward. He's powerful, he's pacey, he tracks back, he's everywhere really in the pitch. And he's just such a fantastic player. As we've said before, he won't be here for that much longer. We just need to enjoy him while he's here because he's the
Brutal,
type
innit?
of player that's already getting linked with teams in the French league, in the Premier League, everywhere. Are looking at this guy now and thinking, right, this is the next step that he has to
I think
take
it
already.
maybe.
So
So do you think it maybe just a wee bit cooled obviously after Thursday's game? I know obviously he's not really getting much service and stuff like that first half and that, but do you think maybe interest is just obviously it's fantastic that maybe it's just me selfishly. I want him to stay here for a wee bit lot longer than just here and then he's gone in the summer. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like it'd be nice if the interest just cooled a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? We're almost out
no,
of
it
the
would be
Champions
nice.
League, which we know we'd be having him till obviously the summer. But I just got to do everything. I feel like you can't keep a hold of him for next season for me. I think there's still so
Nah,
much more. That's it. That's how good he is. I think there's still so much more you've still to see for him.
no, I think exactly that. I think it'll be difficult to keep him by even next week to obviously get that done with first, and then next summer as well is a different proposition. But he's going to have so many people looking at him. He's like ideal for the modern game as a forward. He's got everything, and as long as he keeps on improving on that, he could very well end up as the top scorer of the SPL as well. So, he was brilliant, and a guy that's came back into the team the last couple of weeks and done really well himself. It's Cyril Dessers. He always finds a way back in. He always finds a way back into your heart again, and he deserved the start of the day. He took his goal fantastically well, just like his goal at Old Trafford on Thursday, as we were saying. Cyril Dessers, it feels like he's on a hot streak of form at the moment, and long may that continue because I don't feel like Cyril Dessers at the moment. I've not seen any links to any other strikers coming into the club. I feel like he's going to be a Rangers player up until the summer at least, as we speak. The now, obviously, that could change pretty quickly, but he seems to be happy here. He's scoring goals, he's confident. There's been rumblings that teams in Italy are in for him, but nothing really concrete. And as I say, he's had to kind of sit on the bench for a while and deal with a tough spell. Again, that could have been one of those performances or just one of those guys that sit on the bench, come on, half-arse it, look for a move away. Like some people, I can think of Rabbi Matondo and Kieran Dowell, for example, who have obviously now common knowledge that they'll be leaving the club if the club can get rid of them. But Cyril Dessers has sat there, he's waited for his opportunity, he's conducted himself really well, and when given the opportunity in the last 4 or 5 games, he's came on and he's scored goals, and that's exactly what we need him to do.
Exactly what we need to do. I mean, he scores the hard ones and misses the easy ones. That's the thing with him, innit? As I say, yeah, as I've always said about him, you can't fault his mentality for me. He just comes on and he just tries to give everything he's got. He doesn't. He's not a guy for me that moans or complains, really, does he? He just gets on, mate, and puts his
And
head
he's
down.
never been injured in his Rangers career either.
Do you know what I mean? And when his chances come, he'll obviously take them and be either a great goal or missing a sitter. But no, man, you can't. As I say, you can't fault him. I mean, absolutely an unbelievable goal on the Thursday, and then a really good goal here this morning. Sorry. So aye, no, you can't fault him at all. But as I say, overall, good second half. First half was you were thinking, here we go again. But nah, came out second half was a lot better, and then obviously we get one of the most ridiculous decisions you've ever seen in football.
No, I know it's just a terrible decision. And just a quick wee shout out. Obviously, you said about Zach Lovelace coming on, getting assist for the Dessers goal, and also Paul Incio as well coming on, making his first team debut. As we were speaking about it, seen Finlay Curtis and obviously Paul Incio now and Ciala. Lovelace guys getting involved for the B team now is just a really nice thing to see, and hopefully that continues, as you say, for the rest of the season. But aye, this was just like, what are we doing in Scotland? Like, well, when you actually think
Bringing him
about
up.
it, it's just a terrible decision. I mean, like for me, I actually had to watch it back as much times as they did on VAR to even see what they were given a red card for. I thought it was Egaman that get sent off initially,
Yeah,
and I'm like, right, so why's that happened? It's a scuffle between two players. If you see the look on Kevin Holt's face in that image there, he looks like the guy that's raging with
nah,
Diomande, and Diomande's like, what? Why would Diomande go and slap him? Like, why would Diomande see it? He raised his hands in emotion, I feel like, after he get pushed. He
push.
just
That's
went like,
100%.
the hand didn't touch him, it wasn't forceful. There was nothing behind that other than a scuffle, and it should have been two yellow cards to both players if we're really fair. Diomande, he's raised his hand in a context, obviously with refereeing, they've got to look at that. But Kevin Holt has pushed Diomande forcefully twice to instigate a reaction from him. So for me, on the basis of sporting integrity, should that not just be a yellow card for each person?
That's 100% what it should have been, mate. As you say, he's obviously been the aggressor. He's pushed him back. Diomande, I feel as you've said there, kind of going to push him back, and then his hands just ended up where it's ended up. He's not really touched him at all. He's not done a Stockton slap to him. He's not. Do you know what I mean? Should have been two yellows and then move on, mate. Also, you have the as well. I'd bring up as well the claim for the penalty as
No, I
well.
mean, aye.
Um, I mean, I come on. I don't know anymore. I feel like the referees in this league just make it up as they go along. And he had to stick by it because he knew he'd mucked up and he'd made a mistake. And then if he admitted he had done it, he'd look like a fool and he'd look like he didn't know what he was doing. I mean, we were talking about it as well, obviously, but the punditry as well. And I mean, I'm sorry. I know what they try and do. They try and let's wind Chris Boyd up and all that kind of stuff. But really, you want to watch real pundits actually commentate on the game and actually give analysis, not
It's actually
bickering
terrible.
back and forth. It's and the boy that was obviously singing for Dundee, and what have you, he had no clue. But it was shocking. As I say, obviously people say Boyd's got the Rangers glasses on and what have you, but it's just common sense to me personally.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not looking. See if this was a Celtic player, a Aberdeen player, and I saw this. Like, I think we did see the same issue with Dan
Yeah.
Casey for Motherwell a couple of months ago. I remember we were talking about it. He gets sent off for a ridiculous decision that got overturned, obviously, and downgraded to a yellow card eventually. But this is one of the worst decisions I've seen ever. Like it's one of those where you just look at it and if you're looking at that with the naked eye, what am I
Mm.
looking at here? Who's done what? Oh, it looks like the Dundee United player's done something. Oh wait, Diomande has tapped his head. Like, come on, it's a terrible, terrible decision, and Nick Walsh has been prone to it. As you say, the fact that he went over after VAR had said that maybe no, he went over, he stuck by his decision, was only to make himself not look like an absolute idiot. That's it. He didn't want
But
to.
when I don't even know what it is, but when Sky Dairy mad things where they've got the referees, extra referees and that, and they get them.
No,
This clip
you'll
ends
see
up.
that tomorrow morning, and it will
Aye,
be
you see
laughed
that.
out. That's how
Exactly.
it'll happen. It'll be laughed out.
As
I
you
mean, it's a terrible, terrible decision. You look at in the game as well. There's a penalty call. Apparently, you're allowed to just play basketball in the box now. If you're a Dundee United player, just terrible officiating. That's a clear penalty, and again a clear and obvious error for a send off Diomande, and that goes against everyone that had happened to us this season. The one that you keep going back to is Cherny was fouled in the box in extra time at three each in a cup final, and that's what cost us the cup at the end of the day. So I mean, like, if they don't ever get it right, they're never going to. And it seems to be always just be us that's on the receiving end of these horrible mistakes. Obviously, we spoke about Dan Casey as well, Motherwell on the receiving end of a couple this season as well. But I think it's just the same for all clubs. I think all clubs are getting terrible
Is
decisions against them. I remember a Celtic penalty a couple of weeks ago that was just terrible.
that the one with
Um,
Kyogo?
I mean, like, what are we giving a penalty there for? And Rangers remain the only team not to get a penalty this season still. So the penalty Rangers thing worked, by the way, for everybody that get involved with that. So cheers.
It's, I mean, as you say, you look at that picture, he looks like the aggressor. Even when you were thinking it, do you know what I mean? Diomande walks away. He's the one that's trying to instigate something, and then Raskin comes in to cool it down. And then obviously one of the Dundee players comes in, tries to. It's like, come on here.
It's ludicrous.
Um,
It's terrible decision making. Clement obviously confirming that he was raging by it as well. You've seen obviously his reaction at the end of the game. He probably had to hold his tongue a bit, what he was saying in the interviews, and obviously said, "Well, we're appealing it as well." So we'll
when
see obviously what goes with that. It would not surprise me one bit
that's
if
what I
it
was going to say.
stands.
That's what I was going to say. I think they're just going to have to back. They'll just back their man, and it's just shambolic as we say. But
No.
I think they'll back his decision.
Nah, it's terrible, but we'll see what happens with that. Um, before we go into the Union St Gilloise game, there has been some news coming out that Kieran Dowell possibly going to Birmingham City, loan to buy deal. I mean, good news for everybody involved. We can finally get a wage thief off the wage bill. Birmingham City are doing us a good deal this season. We'll be
Yeah.
getting a couple of guys off the wage bill for us, but Kieran Dowell just an absolute waste of space in this Rangers squad. Hopefully going to be out the door before the window ends in the 2nd of February. So, we'll see obviously what happens with that in the coming days. But on to the final thing of the episode, as we were saying, back to Europa League straight away, all games kicking off at the same time on Thursday. So there's going to be a lot of movement. I think the good thing for us is we are through, we are safe, we are through in the playoffs, no matter the results. Obviously, we want to get into the top eight, so that'll be the thing to work towards. I believe I've got a screenshot of the table on here. I do. So USG are 15th and we're 13th, both on the same points. I believe they won the other day as well, so they've catapulted up a bit. And they'll probably be safe as well on 11 points. So good for them again into the playoffs. But I mean, if you look in there, if we just battle them, do our job, win the game, there's every chance that we could get into the top eight. I mean, when you look at FCSB in there, I mean, they were crap against us in their eighth.
Um,
So it's been a weird Europa League this season. I mean, people are probably looking at us as well, like how do we do it on Thursdays? So I need one big
they're
push
slinging it.
on Thursday night again to finally end the campaign on a high note.
They end it on a high note, definitely. As I say at the time of this, I'm not really. There's nobody in that table there. You've shown that I'm like nervous to play if we, as I say, if we don't go through to the automatic eight there. There's nobody I'm really hanging with. Maybe the Real Sociedad. I don't know they're a bit of a decent wee team there as well. But no, just need to do our job. Just turn up, do the business, and then up the road, lad. But it's just one of them where you're through regardless. I mean, you look at some of the teams there. There you go. Is that who you're starting?
I
You're
will,
starting
I
with.
we'll go on to that next. But some of the teams that are in there, I believe, the knockout playoffs. There's not too many in there that. Again, I don't
There's
feel as a
no.
Rangers fan you really feel that fear anymore in Europe. I think you think we can take care of MD at
Take him,
Ibrox.
David. I mean, get any of these teams at Ibrox, you can do them. Um, but there's nobody I'm looking at the table right now, and I'm thinking, God, I wouldn't want to play them.
No, I'm the exact same, and we'll obviously see who we get eventually. But as we were saying, the Europa League team, the squad, I mean, you're looking at Matondo not being involved, Dowell not being involved, Cortez being out, Suter being out, Redvan now out injured, Balogun out injured, Barron out injured, Cherny out injured. I mean, near enough half the Europa League team that we can pick is out injured. Obviously, Cherny is a guy that hopefully is all right and we can get him back for Thursday. But I think it's a prime kind of solution to start Zach Lovelace. He's obviously came out and he's played out in the right hand side or the left hand side when he's came on. So I would be looking to maybe throw him in, see how he handles it. Um, Again, Leon King, there's nobody else to play. If we had Redvan, I'd probably put Tavernier at centre half, but we don't. So it's literally bare bones. It's again 11 players will just need to go and do it.
They go and do the job, and it's a great opportunity for somebody like Zach Lovelace. As I say, just sling Clement at centre half, just get a gaffer on him.
We're nearly at the point of doing
Aye.
that.
But no, it's a great opportunity for him. Obviously, came on, do the business, but just go there and get the result, man. I'm confident enough, and as I say, we can get it. Um, then I mean, if we had the fit and everything like that, I mean, Bajrami wouldn't be starting for me personally. I
No, I know.
just
If you look at the team that we could
he
play,
deserves some time on the bench for me personally. I just offers nothing really much, and I'm just thinking, right, let's just drop him and
mm,
just play somebody else, man.
I know that's it. The time in it. He's been offered the luxury of being able to play all the games because we've not really got much to pick
Like
for.
somebody like, you know what I mean? Just throw Finlay Curtis in there or something. Just it just gives a wee
You're looking at
time.
that Finlay Curtis and your McCauslins of
It's
the
a great
world and stuff.
opportunity.
They'll need to play games.
That's it, but it's a great opportunity for these lads, and I'm excited to watch them play. And see more of them obviously. Instead of obviously also when they're in the B team, they're not really getting that competitiveness really, are they? So it's good to see them, you know what I mean, get thrown into the deep end. That's the only way we're going to ever find out if any of these young lads are any good or not. So it's good to watch, and as I say, I'd much rather watch Finlay Curtis right now than Bajrami.
Well, that's it. And Clement will have his his team to pick, but if we're not getting MD back for injury, it's going to be a very weakened team for what we can select in the Europa League. So we'll see how it goes. As I say, one last kind of push at Ibrox under the lights on a Thursday night. It should
Business
be
done.
business done, but obviously stranger things have happened against the trickier teams in Europe. So we'll obviously see how it goes. But that's the episode. Obviously, get the game on Thursday, then the game on Sunday. Back at Ibrox again for Ross County, and then it's a new week. So we'll be back to you next week. Again, looking over the Europa League campaign, most likely the end of the transfer window, and then looking at that Ross County game. So we'll see you then.